What's up guys, it's Parnelli, and in today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. I have ChatGPT open, and in case you do not know what ChatGPT is, I don't really know how to explain it. It's basically a AI version of a virtual assistance tool, and is basically 10 times cooler than Google, and it can do some very interesting things. So for example, I decided to ask it to design me a League of Legends Champions kit whose abilities are based around using in-game chats. What it came up with was actually pretty funny, as it basically mentioned to use the words like lol and GG easy to deal different effects, or peekaboo to apply a AoE slow as opposed to a stun. This kind of got me thinking. I just kind of initially did this for fun, but then I thought, what could I do to make Warwick's kit different, or what could I do to make it more interesting? So that's basically what we're going to be doing in today's video, is exploring different Warwick themes that are still kind of on par with Warwick, but are just different variations. So if you like this type of video and you want to see me do something like this again, let me know in the comments. Also, feel free to let me know in the comments what you'd like me to ask ChatGPT in the future. And I mean, be fair, you can just do it yourself as well. I'm going to link it in the description. It's free, like I said. So let's just start asking it questions and see what it comes up with. All right, so I decided to do a little test run to start off, and it's honestly pretty sick. So initially I asked for it to create a kit for Dark Warwick. Now I don't know what Dark Warwick necessarily is. It's just dark and shadows and basically evil Warwick. This right here is what it came up with. And granted, I did probe it a couple times. So in order for it the kit to not be too generic, sometimes you have to ask it to come up with certain different variants. Sometimes two abilities will end up being pretty much the same, so you got to ask it to change one ability. But for the most part, it just comes up with cool stuff here eventually. Dark Warwick's passive is Shadow Step. Dark Warwick gains bonus movement speed and becomes stealth for a short duration when he kills an enemy champion or epic monster. It's basically Duskblade, but he gets movement speed. I like it. Q, Shadow Fang. Dark Warwick lunges forward and bites his target, dealing physical damage and healing for a portion of the damage dealt. It's just his normal Q right now, but without Q hold. It's a nerfed version of current Warwick Q. I imagine it would probably deal more damage, but you gotta see the rest of the kit here. W, Shadow Pack. Dark Warwick calls forth a pack of shadows that chase down the nearest enemy champion. The shadows leave a trail that grants Dark Warwick bonus movement speed when he moves through it. This is actually such a cool variant of Warwick's current W. To me, I imagine it's like twin shadows. It's literally just like twin shadows. You just press W, you have a pack of shadows that look like of wolf shadows that just chase down the nearest enemy, start attacking it, dealing damage to it, and then it leaves a shadow trail. And it's literally just Warwick's blood trail that you can follow. That is actually so awesome. And it would actually be pretty balanced, and it would definitely fit really well for him being a jungler. I actually love this already. E, Shadow Leap. Dark Warwick leaps to a target location, becoming immune to all crowd control during the leap. Upon landing, he deals magic damage to all nearby enemies and slows them for a short duration. So it's basically like Warwick's current ultimates, but instead of actually suppressing a target, he just lands in an area and deals damage and slows them, which is pretty nice. And surprisingly balanced, but also pretty skill expressive and kind of fits with his kit so far. So far, it's he has the kit of an assassin, and this is what I imagine Dark Warwick would be. R, Shadow Realm. Dark Warwick opens a portal to the Shadow Realm, teleporting all nearby enemy champions to a location within the Shadow Realm. While within the Shadow Realm, enemy champions are unable to use abilities or attack and are slowed. After a short duration, they are teleported back to their original location, taking magic damage and becoming stunned for a short duration. Now, this is obviously pretty overloaded. I mean, it's basically just Mordekaiser ultimates, but you disable, you essentially polymorph everyone that you travel with to the Shadow Realm. and you also stun people after they come out. I will say the one balanced part about this is it says it teleports all nearby enemy champions. So it's something that you have to use in isolation. Like I imagine if you are diving the enemy ADC and he has 2 teammates nearby and you press R, you teleport to the Shadow Realm without your allies, but he has his nearby allies with him. So you can essentially put yourself in a 1v3 situation. Now, obviously, it says right here that they're all disabled, which just wouldn't be balanced. But I imagine that if they could attack you back, this would actually be a pretty cool variant of Mordekaiser ultimate that would have honestly more counterplay, but also have potentially higher reward in some way. I mean, you stun them outside of it. I don't know. You'd probably just be buffed to deal more damage or something during the ultimate. Not entirely sure, but you could probably make it something interesting. Yeah, so that is Dark Warwick, and I want to see what other variants of Warwick we can get into. So let's just get right at it. Okay, so I think a really good place to start would be to explore Warwick's skin themes, because Warwick already has some really nice skins with really interesting directions you could take it. Plus, they've already been explored visually, so it makes sense. Let's go ahead and start off with Firefang Warwick. You can see right here, by the way, I asked for some cool skin ideas, and it came up with some pretty neat ones. Honestly, could probably be better. I could explore that maybe in the next video. But let's stick to champion design. So this is actually a question I just wrote out. Can you design me a League of Legends kit that synergizes with itself for Firefang Warwick, like if his wolf theme had fire and infernal elements attached to it? I also want to just add maybe is unique and interesting. Whatever that means. I just want it to be something a little bit different. Passive Inferno Fang. Firefang Warwick's basic attacks and abilities apply a stack of Inferno to enemy champions. At 3 stacks, the enemy explodes, dealing magic damage to all nearby enemies and healing Firefang Warwick for a portion of the damage dealt. It actually keeps like Warwick's like theme of like healing intact on the passive. But it keeps a fiery adds a fiery twist to it with the 3-hit passive on champions that deals bonus damage that in an AoE. The one thing, this is actually pretty balanced considering if it said it worked on minions, it'd mean that Warwick's wave clear is just gonna be way too good. But this is like a 3-hit passive that actually kind of works for a champion to be on hit just every 3. I guess it's basically like Diana passive, honestly, but it just heals you as well. So that's kind of neat. Igniting Strike. Firefang Warwick's next basic attack becomes a flaming strike that deals bonus physical damage and leaves a trail of fire in its wake. So it's a empowered auto attack. The fire deals magic damage over time to all enemies who enter it and increases the movement speed of Firefang Warwick and his allies. Okay, so that's really cool. In my mind, what this means is it's just like it's like a Jax W, right? Like it just empowers your next auto, probably an auto attack reset. But when you hit the enemy with this, you leave a burning trail of fire that damages enemies that stand in it, and also gives you movement speed along with your allies' movement speed inside it. That's actually pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie, I like that. Like that sounds really cool and interesting. And again, it really keeps a lot of the similar themes that Warwick has in his current kit. W, Inferno Eruption. Firefang calls forth an eruption of fire at a target location, dealing magic damage and stunning all enemies caught in the eruption for a short duration. The fire also leaves behind a trail of flames that deals magic damage over time to all enemies who enter it. Okay, so this is something that's well, this actually, I guess this actually does kind of work. I was going to say sometimes ChatGPT, when I've asked it questions like this, it's about champion kits. Like abilities will overlap each other and do the same thing. But this could kind of work because you can still have the cube movement speed bonuses. Just that W can apply like the trail to multiple enemies. So you could like land a really sick W and then have like 4 different fire trails if you hit a 4-man W. I imagine this would be kind of hard to hit, similar to something like an Echo W, for it to be somewhat balanced considering it stuns as well. But honestly, I kind of dig it. The only issue is it's kind of mage themes and Warwick's obviously not really much of a mage, but it kind of works. E, Infernal Dash. Firefang Warwick dashes to a target location, leaving behind a trail of fire. Again, There's a lot of trails of fire here, it seems. That deals magic damage over time to all enemies who enter it. The trail also increases the attack speed of Firefang Warwick and his allies who pass through it. Okay, like I said, it's getting a little repetitive at this point. I think we can go ahead and probably ask ChatGPT to have less trails of fire so that his abilities are a little bit different. So we can ask it to edit this afterwards, but I still overall am liking the kind of general idea that we're getting here. Inferno Howl. Firefang Warwick howls, calling forth a pack of flaming wolves that chase down all enemy champions in a large area around him. The wolves deal magic damage over time and reduce the movement speed of all enemies they hit. Firefang Warwick and his allies who are within the area of the howl are also healed for a portion of the damage dealt. Okay, I'm trying to imagine what this actually looks like. I'm not sure if this is just simply like one flaming wolf goes to, I guess it'd be like a hellhound, honestly, goes to each enemy champion and just damages them once. I'm thinking maybe it kind of like a damage over time effect where like if enemies are staying around Warwick, then one wolf's going to hit them and then another wolf's going to hit them, and it's going to constantly happen over time. This is obviously would be a pretty insane team fighting tool. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's just kind of okay. Probably could be better, could be cooler. So let's go ahead and ask for it to be cooler and better. Can you change his E and his R? Do something different and more unique while also retaining synergy with his hit. I'm not even sure if it really like has a good understanding of like how to synergize together, but I'm just kind of leaving that in just in case. Wait, so it actually changed his W as well. I didn't ask for it to change the W, but you know, I'm down. Let's see what it comes up with. Firefang Warwick sends out a wave of fire that deals magic damage and slows all enemies in its path. The wave also ignites any trails of fire left behind by Warwick's abilities. What the dude? That's insane. Dealing additional damage over time to all enemies within the fire. Wait, that synergy is actually, what the hell? Wait, this is actually so cool. So you can leave behind multiple trails of fires, like maybe with your Qs or whatever, and then you just use your W through it and it ignites it. You know what this actually reminds me of? If anyone has ever played the game Smite, there's Agni, I believe is his name. I can't remember his name, the fire guy. He has a ability that does something similar to this. So that's maybe where it gets the data from or gets the idea from. But that actually would be so awesome. Let's see what's next. Internal Pursuit. Firefang Warwick leaps to a target enemy champion, dealing magic damage and marking them with Inferno. If the marked enemy takes damage from any source, they explode, dealing magic damage to all nearby enemies and healing Firefang Warwick for a portion of the damage dealt. You know, if he dashes onto them, he's going to be able to guarantee that they take another source of damage by just auto-hitting them. So I imagine it'd be like you'd have to probably hit them with a spell, or maybe an ally has to hit them to get the explosion off or something like that. But overall, pretty cool. You get a gap close. You mark the enemy, and then you can probably follow up with another ability and then deal bonus damage on the explosion. That's AoE and heals. That's actually insane for team fighting. Honestly, like the entire theme of Firefang Warwick probably would be like more AoE damage and just like a better team fighter. Less of a hunter, more of a team fighter that heals and still auto attacks a bunch. And that's exactly what we're getting, which I'm impressed with. R. Inferno Blaze. Firefang Warwick creates a large trail of fire that encircles all enemy champions within a large area around him. The fire deals magic damage over time and reduces the movement speed of all enemies who enter it. Firefang Warwick also gains a burst of movement speed and ignores unit collision while within the trail of fire. What the? Dude, this is awesome. What? So you just have like a giant ring of fire around you and deals damage, does a lot of damage and just slows. So it's basically like Rumble Ultimate, but just in a giant circle. And while Warwick is within it, he just gains movement speed. Yeah, he basically is just ghosted inside. But you know what the cool thing is? You can use your W to ignite the ring of fire. The synergy here is actually crazy. Dude, honestly, Riot might be out of a job soon. I need to just apply to Riot Games as to be on the champion dev team and just create champions and rework champions based off of what ChatGPT is feeding me. Because this is actually amazing. And now for the final challenge of this video, we're going to do something a little bit spicy. spicy, if you will. Give me a League of Legends kit idea for Chef Warwick. I can picture it so clearly in Warwick's lore. Vander gets caught by Singed, strapped in the chair at the lab. He's getting shimmer pumped into his veins through the chemical pumps or whatever happens in the lore. Singed knocks over into the pumps. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. It's paprika and parsley gets inside his bloodstream. As a result, Warwick does not come out with a hunger and a thirst for blood, feeling of hatred and pain. He actually has a thirst to saute onions on a skillet. That is the lore of Chef Warwick. It's something that just simply needs to happen. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT has cooked up. We got passive, gourmet cuisine. Chef Warwick stores energy each time he kills a monster, champion, or assists in a kill. When he has stored enough energy, he can cook a special dish that provides different bonus effects based on the ingredients he has collected. That's actually pretty fucking insane. The only issue here is obviously they didn't explain what the different ingredients do. So I'll ask that here in a second. Q, appetizer strike. Chef Warwick throws a knife, dealing physical damage and marking the targets. If Chef Warwick kills the target within 4 seconds, the target will drop a special ingredient that he can collect. Wait, this is actually really cool synergy. Well, his passive says that he stores energy. Okay, so his passive is he stores energy. I don't know how often he's going to be collecting dishes with his passive. Probably something like every 10 CS or something, kind of like Ahri passive. But he can Q a minion and then kill it to guarantee that he's able to collect a dish. And this is actually really balanced because it means he actually has to make a decision. He has to sacrifice supposedly a harassment tool, his bread and butter ability, no pun intended with the chef theme, and in order to get a bonus on his next attack or whatever it does. That is actually pretty insane and a pretty unique effect. W, entree slam. Chef Warwick slams the ground with his pan, dealing physical damage and slowing enemies in an area. If Chef Warwick has collected the correct ingredients, he can cook a special dish that increases the damage and slows enemies even more. I imagine when he slams the ground, it's literally not shaped like a cone or a circle. It's literally just a pan shape. I love that. E, desserts dash. Chef Warwick dashes to a target location, leaving a trail of fire that deals damage over time. If Chef Warwick has collected the correct ingredients, he can cook up a special dish that increases the damage and applies a debuff to enemies' hits. Attack speed slows, crit chance, and mana regen effects, which are all really, for the most part, effects that Riot doesn't use anymore. But still, overall, I mean, this one's actually pretty basic, not gonna lie, but it works with this kit. R, feast time. Chef Warwick channels for a short time, cooking a large feast that attracts nearby minions and monsters to come and eat. The feast provides Chef Warwick with bonus health regen and increases his attack speed. If Chef Warwick has collected the right ingredients, the feast also provides a bonus to his allies and gives them bonus health regen, attack speed, and movement speed. I'm not really exactly sure what this entirely means. What's the point of attracting nearby minions and monsters to come and eat? This one probably could be a little bit different, but all right, so I asked it to clarify the gourmet cuisine passive that it provided, and also asked that it change the ultimate ability. And this is what it came up with. Passive, gourmet cuisine. Chef Warwick collects ingredients as he kills minions and monsters, so no more energy storing, but still somewhat similar. Up to 5 ingredients can be collected, and they are displayed on his buff bars. It's like Jin's bullets, but they're just different colors depending on the ingredients that he has. That's actually kind of funny. Each ingredient has his own unique bonus. So if he has 1 garlic clove, he gains bonus attack speed. If he has 1 thyme sprig, he gains bonus movement speed. If he has 1 rosemary sprig, he gains bonus on hit damage. 1 sage leaf, bonus spell vamp. 1 salt crystal, bonus lifesteal. Kind of redundant to have spell vamp and lifesteal. Probably something that would need to be changed, but it's whatever. 2 garlic cloves, your next auto will stun the target for 1 second. 2 thyme sprigs, your next ability will deal bonus damage. 2 rosemary sprigs, your next ability will also slow the target by 50% for 1.5 seconds. That's literally just worse than the garlic clove, not gonna lie. So maybe AoE slow. That would kind of fit, I guess. 2 sage leaves, your next ability will heal you for a percentage of the damage dealt. 2 salt crystals, your next ability will deal bonus true damage. And again, that's also repetitive because time deals bonus damage, but you could probably differ it a little bit. If he has 3 mixed ingredients, his next ability will have an increased range and area of effect. 5 mixed ingredients, so this would be a full bar. Remember, he can collect up to 5 ingredients. Your ultimate will be empowered, reducing its cooldown by 50% and increasing its damage by 50%. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty fucking broken. To reduce your cooldown by 50%, to buff your ultimate, sure. But like, can't buff it. You can't buff it that much, right? That's just unrealistic. His ultimate is Culinary Finale. Chef Warwick throws a pot of his finest stew, dealing damage and stunning all enemies in the area for 1.5 seconds. The damage and stun and duration of the stun increase based on the number of ingredients collected. So it ramps up depending on his, well, I guess you're gonna have, if you have 5 ingredients, then you're gonna get the bonus effect anyways. This is, again, pretty boring of an ultimate, but it works. We'll just, you know, take it as is. I actually already, spoiler alert, by the way, in case anyone's wondering, I actually did try multiple variations of this. Chef Warwick is a little bit tough. Sometimes it just like hit it right out of the gate when I asked it to create a kit for Chef Warwick. Sometimes it was pretty bland and not interesting and not cool. So I think it's kind of hard to really get it to come up with abilities that are this wacky and this kind of out of the blue, but sometimes they can actually hit pretty well. And honestly, this passive here is a really cool concept if it was just, you know, looked into a little bit further. And that's it for me. Make sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this video, and if you want to see me do something like this again, let me know what you want me to ask ChatGPT in the future. Peace.